Greetings and good day, YouTube. How are you doing today? We just finished fight number 2 of the Dinosaur Death Match, and I'm once again not going to spoil anything, but I'm going to say check that out on the Dinosaur Death Match playlist if you're so curious to see what happened. Now, so far, we're going to make a little bit of an update and say we have... This is probably going to be associated with the Dinosaur Death Match thing. I might keep this separated from the playlist, though, because of the way that I'm doing this. This may very well be the very last longer form video for the Dinosaur Death Match. We may just have a couple of short videos that are nothing but fights. Those fights will probably be anywhere between 10 and 30 minutes long, depending on how we do things. The 4 fights that are available for dinosaurs are round, like, the actual fights with, like, alright, 3-round fights that could potentially end in a death will occur when dinosaurs that are fighting each other do not kill each other within 3 rounds. If both dinosaurs are alive after 3 rounds, then the victor will go to the individual who won the most of those rounds, even if it doesn't seem like that dinosaur would live if there was a true death match occurring. For example, if the recovery rate of a dinosaur is high enough, then it could out-heal its opponent and eventually have more health on the 4th bout and kill its opponent on the 4th bout. As you can see, we upgraded the fighting ring a little bit to have 2 different gates. Since our park comes out here, I'm actually going to name this North Gate. And this South Gate. Because I want to name everything in this park, including all the dinosaurs. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm actually slipping in my announcer voice. My apologies. So, as I was saying, more than likely, this is probably going to be the last of, like, the little, hey, this is what's going on video. Then we have, after the round fight, after the 3-round fight, we have the death match, which will go until one dinosaur is dead. Those are pretty straightforward and pretty obvious who the winner is in those ones. The third type of fight we have just so happens to be a team fight. So say we have 2 Tyrannosauruses. We could have the 2 Tyrannosauruses fight another team of dinosaurs. And I said earlier the victor will go to the first one that, like, kills another dinosaur. But I think what it should be broken down to in is, like, say we have 3 Ceratosaurus fight 2 Tyrannosauruses, and somehow the 3 Ceratosaurus win, or the 3 Ceratosaurus lose. That will probably be a similar way. Like, the team fights will probably be similar, based on a point system. But more than likely, it'll be like 2v2 or 3v3 or something like that without a handicap. So that we have something like that set up. So, like, 2 Tyrannosauruses versus 2 Ceratosauruses, either death matches or 3 rounds. More than likely, those types of fights will be death match fights, but we shall see in the future when we do have some of them. The other situation is maybe a handicapped fight. So, like, we could have 3 Velociraptors fight something like an Indominus Rex, or a Indoraptor, because Indoraptors and Velociraptors will fight each other. But another fight that's guaranteed that's on my mind just so happens to be something we call the Survivor Series. The Survivor Series just so happens to be a fight type where we have a timer of upwards of 30 minutes, where we release a carnivore or a herbivore, depending on the situation, and see how many humans those dinosaurs can take out versus a number of other dinosaurs. We will do a hard save before we do those fights, so we don't have to wait for a long time for the civilians to return. But what will happen is we will take a dinosaur, put it at the start of the park over here, drop it down right here in this four-way, and let loose the Hound of War just to see what exactly occurs. I'm amazed that we actually have a high population of dinosaurs that we do. As for having Shalashashka fight, I do believe Jack Black's actually a better fighter with the 162, 175, right? But I could be wrong. So I will have Shalashashka be in the next fight. Mind you, in the future, how it's gonna work. Oh god. I actually realized, well, Shalashashka here might actually get killed. Potentially.
Understood.
Hopefully, Jack Black won't take out Shalashashka, but we'll see. Anyways, as I was saying, we'll have my dinosaur fight another dinosaur that we're gonna create. Oh god. Let's release all these, so we can knock them all out and throw them in their proper pens. And then we will build a... What are we thinking? We're thinking a Spinosaurus, some kind of wicked herbivore. What are we thinking? Because the Indoraptor, maybe it can go up against an Indominus Rex that's pretty buffed out.
Heading to collect the asset.
So, for the carnivores, we have the Spinosaurus with 8 genes, the Indominus Rex with 8, the Allosaurus with 8. The Indoraptor has 9. Do any herbivores have that many genetics we could do? A Spinosaurus? I think we can manage that one. We could have it fight Mr. Green. No. Not enough. Not enough. More defense focused, even then it wouldn't be enough. Hmm. 153.72. Oh god. Oh, I did take out a lot of the genes there. Let's do a jungle pattern Spinosaurus. Tooth hardness, skin toughness, reaction speed, bone density. Uh-oh. Aggressive genes, bone density, sure. Aggressive? Maybe learning. And actually, I don't think it's going to be enough. We need more defense. We would need more defense overall. Even if the attack gets a little bit reduced, I think that'll help us. I don't think the Spinosaurus is going to win against the Indoraptor, though. Alright. So I'm curious to see who's going to win that one. I'm pretty sure Shalashashka will win that one. Oh, we haven't knocked any of them out yet. That would actually help if we did that first, wouldn't it? I think so. Depending on, yeah, this could be, like, depending on how the prep stage is, will depend on how long, like, whether or not I actually make videos for the in-between. We'll see, though.
No problem.
So anything that doesn't have a dinosaur. Oh, we did just knock out.
Confirming task. Task received. Confirmed.
I could paint whatever has a dinosaur, but that would not make sense. Just the middle 4, the bottom 2, bottom 4, the mid 4, and the one all the way to the right. We can put you all the way to the right. That'll be fine. But yeah, Teleshashka here is gonna be an interesting fighter, because Indoraptors, unless we knock them down to the level of like a certain weight class, they're the strongest dinosaur we can make, I think, in all honesty, right? Even if we were to just give them the basics, what do they look like if we give them the basics? So if we just do all null genes, you're gonna have a base attack and a base defense of... Oh god, a lot of attack, a lot of base attack. 92-45. I think you would definitely lose against Smith. A basic Indoraptor would lose against Smith. And how we could do in the future is we could do like 4 attack genes, we could do a mixture of genes, 2 defense, 2 attack, or 1 defense, 1 resilience. Like the first 4, the last 4 is basically how that would work out. If we wanted to put you in the lower class, or the lower weight class. Medium class, we could give you 5 or 6, and make you be able to fight like a Ceratosaurus. Like if we did that, you might be able to fight a Ceratosaurus and lose. But what's a basic, I mean, what's the Ceratosaurus? 126-60? That's the problem right there, 92-45. So... $125.74 versus 92.45. This Ceratosaurus would win. How many genes does it have? 4. We could give it 3. We could give the Indoraptor 3. Let's just do 3 attack and see. Like let's just do the first 3 and see what happens. Since this is resilience, we would do something like this. Defense, we would do aggressive, and attack, we would do, for example, that 138.70. 138.70. All right. So it seems to lower the weight class of a dinosaur. We have to also lower the amount of genetics that we could add to it. That's interesting. Also, let's not forget to, move these dinosaurs before they die. You, Sticky Moloch or whatever, go all the way over to here.
Acknowledging asset collection request.
The other 4. So the Triceratops can go here.
Heading to pick up the asset.
Oh no, yeah, that's a Torosaur. And go all the way over to here.
Asset requiring collection.
You can go all the way over to here.
En route to collect the asset.
And you can go all the way over to here.
Picking up asset.
So we only have 4 more left.
Transportation.
2 more left.
Transit has commenced.
What are the last 2 herbivores? A Triceratops, a Nodosaurus. Alright. Oof. Interesting.
Sets in the air.
And Nodosaurus. We need to make duplicates of these, like, with different genetic setups and stuff like that, so they're prepared to have certain fights. Most of the time, they will stay within their fighter level. We're almost ready to actually produce the Spinosaurus and then get it knocked out and see, well, see how it will do. Because Shalashashka over here actually has one dinosaur killed previously. So 3 fights with a little bit of messing around, and we're almost 2 hours into the stream so far.
Asset has been transported.
Hold on. Hold on.
Delivery complete.
I have an idea. I'm actually going to change the settings a little bit more, the sandbox settings, because I can get a lot more people to show up if I do this. I bet you a lot more people will show up. Spinosaurus has just been raised to maturity, so we'll get that set up. But yeah, in the future, when we have more than enough, like when we have 10 of each dinosaur, and we'll be able to pick and choose whichever dinosaur we want to fight, we won't have to have these in between things. Which again, I think I'm gonna put these associated with the Jurassic World thing, and I'm gonna have the Dinosaur Deathmatch or the DDM as a separate thing, which will have probably 4 or 5 parts a night. Like every time I do a DDM, which I want to do once a month, we'll probably have 4 parts, maybe 5 parts, or 5 fights. I definitely do need to get practice with my announcer voice and making announcements with the types of fights we will see. We need to actually make more restaurants and shit, don't we? Hold on, let me do a little bit of a gander. 14% visibility, we do need to fix that, but I don't care. Shopping, food is good. Shopping's not good, and happiness is not good. We really don't need to make adjustments with this, but I want to make these adjustments so that we can actually, like, have more people. Yeah, your beast will definitely scare a raptor. Or are you talking about an Indoraptor? Because, well, we can do it. 176, 100 versus either Shalashashka or Jack Black. I think you would. I think Berserker would die, in all honesty. But, I mean, I've been wrong before, obviously. A raptor. Yeah, no, Berserker will definitely scare. Maybe not Smith. 151. I believe that attack was 176. Yeah, it'll definitely scare a raptor. 108. I think V is my favorite so far. Break up the monotony? What do you mean by monotony exactly? Are you talking about like the delay, waiting and waiting and waiting for money? If you're talking about the waiting for money, then what I have a tendency to do is go to a different part. For, like, for example, Isla Pena is kind of a boring island when you first start on it. You have kind of a low amount of money to work with. You have to wait for the dinosaurs to be produced. So what I would do is I would switch back and forth, and I would switch to one island, send out some dig sites, have them dig for fossils, get the valuables, start excavating or extracting the DNA from the fossils, go back to Isla Pena, sell those fossils, go back, get some more money, so on and so forth. If you're talking about the monotony of something like just waiting and waiting and waiting, then one of the things to delay, like, the quote-unquote boring parts is to try to expand your park, or always think about different ways you could improve your park. The way that I do it is I go, alright, if I was a person that was going to come to this park, what would I want to do? What would I want to do? So the first thing that happens is I'm coming to this park, I'm coming down this escalator, I'm walking out, right? I see right in front of me that there's a monorail system, so I could go anywhere around the park. I could go stay at the north end by traveling down this large path, and then I'm at the north end if my hotel's up here. Or I'm at the south end. However, because this is a park that doesn't have any visibility on dinosaurs, what am I going to do here? Right? I'm going to go shopping. But I'm not really going to see dinosaurs. What you're here for is you're here to see the dinosaur death match. Right? That's what you're here for. I don't know how else better to explain it other than, like, think about expanding your park always. Why? Why is that a thing? What happened? Who died? Oh. Whoops. Let's try and delay on that happening again, please. Oh no. It's too late. It's too late, isn't it? Yeah, it's too late. That's a shame. That's a shame. Whoops. But yeah, that the best way I can describe getting past the boring bits is to, like, always think about how you're gonna expand your park.
Request acknowledged.
Unless there's something you can extrapolate that about, like you can give me a little bit more detail. Well, one of the ways that I'm breaking up the monotony is having a dinosaur deathmatch park. I mean, otherwise I wouldn't really be playing this game. In all honesty, I wouldn't be playing this game. I do have challenges I want to defeat, but all those challenges I'm doing are unlocking cosmetic genes, so those aren't mandatory. And until I get all the DLC, the only time I'm really going to be playing this game is probably on a Wednesday every month when I feel like having dinosaurs fight each other. So that's the case. The other way to break up the monotony is to just restart your park over and over again. Or, if you're on a sandbox park, make the sandbox harder. You can go to sandbox settings and adjust everything that you want. You could make it to where dinosaurs were always, like, dinosaurs have unlimited lifespan, they don't have diseases, and incubations will never fail. Or you could have it that incubations will fail, diseases are normal, or they have high disease amounts, or they have normal lifespan, so on and so forth. The same for all dinosaur behavior, park infrastructure, and here's where the difficulty can start to ramp up, right? The difficulty can start to ramp up when you start messing with the cash. You start with no cash, or you have a Hammond Foundation fee, which as you make a profit, they take more and more money. To get the sandbox, you have to get a park to 4 stars, if I'm not mistaken. Specifically, I do believe you have to get the first park to 4 stars to unlock this island sandbox, because this is the first island you unlock for sandbox. But yeah, I didn't really experience any monotony because I always had a goal in mind, right? My goal was to get all the islands to 5 stars, or it was to complete all the reputation bonuses, or get something like that. Like that's how you defeat the monotony in any game. You have to have a goal. certain games, it's really easy to have that goal because they give you one. But for games like this, where it kind of gives you a little bit of free form, play however you want, you have to make your own goals. But yeah, that's one of the big things to defeat monotony in any game. You gotta have goals for it. Did I knock out that Spinosaurus? I did. Like, even where I'm making this park, I still have goals. The primary goal for this park, in mind, is to have enough have at least 10 dinosaurs in each one of these little pens, which these are not to code in quotation marks because of the settings that I have turned on. They don't care. I could make a little block. I could literally make a 1x1 block and throw a dinosaur in that, and it'll be happier than a pig in a sty. More than one kind of dinosaur. Well, I could give the best information I can give about that is send out digs, right? Send out digs to get more dinosaur DNA. After you get more dinosaur DNA, I think it's 50% you need to be able to try to produce your first dinosaur. I always waited till I had like 70 or above to produce my first dinosaur. As you unlock more and more things at the park, you'll get more and more available dinosaurs that you could send digs out on. It's kind of like a cycle. Also, there's something called, it's an invisible system. You don't get any information about this in the tutorial, but there's a territory system, right? What that basically means is if you have one enclosure, one water thing, and food near that water, that will be the territory of the dinosaurs. However, if you have a large enclosure with 2 different sources of water and food at both sources, the dinosaur will classify whichever one it so desires as that territory. So bear that in mind in the future when you have dinosaurs that need more than one dinosaur to complete its social need. Herbivores, the easiest dinosaurs to keep together. Herbivores are the easiest dinosaurs to keep together. I would always keep. Actually, you know what? Let's since we're currently delaying. I did this earlier in one of my videos. I can't remember which one it was, but I don't have that part up, like the little quote-unquote tutorial. I don't have that up yet. Let's do a hard save really quickly. Overwrite existing DDM. That's fine. And then I will really quickly load up Twitch main. Because once again, this park's gonna look very different. And as you go further and further forward with the parks, you actually like learn better and better how exactly you need to enclose the dinosaurs with their need of grassland and forestry. Fun fact, you need to combine both grassland and forest need, because the way that it works is forest can eat up grassland to change its comfort level, right? Certain dinosaurs don't need a lot of land. As soon as this loads, I'll show you exactly kind of how I have my enclosure set up. But like, oh yeah, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Certain genetic changes you make will actually affect the dinosaurs themselves. If you give aggressive DNA to a carnivore, it will actively seek out fights. I'm not talking to you, Jazz. We're talking to Master Chion. A little bit of a miscommunication there. Master Chion's talking about there. You move dinosaurs by having an ACU center. This game's probably going to crash because it's taking forever to load. The ACU center, you pick the helicopter, and you could either pilot the helicopter, right? Where's my helicopter? Yeah, you click on the ACU helicopter, you go to the map view, that gives you a good thing about what's going on. You go to the helicopter, you say add task, and you click on the dinosaur you want to tranquilize, and then after that you go there, and you see down here, transport team, move, remove, or sell. Then you click on the dinosaur you knocked out and pick a location you want to move it to. One of the things that I would actually do is, this isn't the first park, by the way, this is a different park. hold on. My apologies. No. Let's move. Let's move to the first park. One of the things that I would do is I would actually knock out, like I would have one Hammond Creation Center when I was low on money, create a carnivore, let that carnivore out, immediately exit out of the little movie they show you, go to the ACU center, tell the ACU to knock out the carnivore, pick up the carnivore and put it in a different pen, because the size of the pen kinda matters. But at the same time, as you can see, these Dilophosaurus, this is a pen or an enclosure that's way too big for them. I could cut the size down by half. But to show you what I mean, if you see the little need, the forestry need, and the grassland need, I'm going to delete the entirety of the forest, and you're going to see that go down to 0, and the grassland need actually go up. Because forestry takes out grassland, and vice versa. You go to landscaping, this little X-nay deletes forest and grassland. However, even if I delete this grassland, the grassland will still be the same. This is just more of a cosmetic thing than anything. I have deleted all the forestry. That grassland is there. We will click on this Dilophosaurus, and as you will see, the forestry need has gone down, and the grassland has gone up. Now we will put the forestry back, and we'll actually make the forestry take up the entirety of the enclosure, and you will see the exact opposite has happened. Grassland's all the way down, forestry need is all the way up. Oh no, I'm more than happy to explain these things. That's one of the reasons why I made like a short little tutorial thing, even though this is kind of a part of that tutorial thing. But I'm more than happy to explain this kind of stuff. I love helping people out. But yeah, we'll click on the Dilophosaurus, and we'll go to the information. And right here, grassland and forestry need. This is 2,744 meters squared of grassland and 2,744 meters squared of forest. Wetland, you kind of have to ignore that a little bit because they do need water to drink. Social group and ideal population is important. This means you need the grassland and forestry. It means you basically need 5,488 meters squared. That needs to be the size of the pen or the enclosure that you make. Social group means there can be 12 Dilophosauruses in that size of a pen before they get upset with each other. And also you could potentially put other dinosaurs with each other, but if the population exceeds 22, they'll get upset. That's exactly what that comfort requirements mean. You don't really need to worry about wetland until you start, like, being ready to incubate dinosaurs, like, oh, I don't know, the Baranox. The Baranox needs a wetland of 2,864 meters. But fun fact, wetland is a little bit unique, wherein you can do it however and wherever you want. Observe. That's not what I wanted to do. Please let me make more wetland. As you can see, forestry and grassland is still the same, and wetland need has gone up, or it's close to being the same. Wetland does not eat grassland or forest, like grassland eats forest or forest eats grassland. Another thing to keep in mind about the park, hotels are important to keep guests at your park, to keep your revenue going up. Also, hotels are like the central point of a park. So, for example, this is the entrance point. They walk down and they walk here. Like, this is a perfect distance of walking distance for the hotel. But at that point, you have to look at the hotel as a central gathering point for a park. Monorail stations are important later down the line. When you expand your park, you need to have, like, they don't want to travel all the way from here all the way down over to here. They want to have a monorail system that can take them down there because that reduces travel. Your management view is the most important aspect of this game because it tells you everything you need to know. It tells you how much power you have, how much you're using, how much is available. It tells you how many is required, how many stations you have, how many power stations you have, how many substations you have. Weather is important for later areas. You'll have storm protectors. That's later down the line. You don't need to worry about that on the first island. Shelters are important to have encapsulated around your park. It would be nice to have it here, but you don't have to have it. As long as you have like a 90% need for all of these met, you're good to go. Dinosaur visibility, don't worry about that too much as long as you have the enclosures like set up. Eventually they'll go to the proper location, and as you see, that like will make it go up because they're encapsulated right there. You could make it better by having water go over here, but I was actually doing a test, and as you'll see, like the population need is at N right here for this Triceratops. But if I go to this Triceratops, wait, no, this one. No, this one? Well, never mind. Is there the Strothomimus? Okay, where's the territory of these things? Did they all decide to live over here? I guess they all decided to live over here. Never mind. Anyways, so what I would do when I first started this park is I would make a dinosaur here and knock it out and put it over here until I could make another Hammond Creation Center. I always keep carnivores separated, and I try and make a couple of carnivores put together. And a way to increase your rating, is to actually genetically modify a dinosaur. And make sure you have, like, you go over here to the little arrow and upgrade your facilities so you could like have higher success rates. Higher success rate I always go for because it allows you to do more modifications to the dinosaurs. When you get to 3 stars, your first park extension becomes available. One of the things I kind of recommend you do is, at least this worked for me, is after you get to 3 stars, you immediately go to the next island, right? You get the next island to 3 stars, and then you go back and focus on 5-starring that island. It's what I did for the most part, and it worked wonders for me. Also, to unlock more things, you have to get the reputation bonuses to unlock them, and I made sure to do that on all the islands and also complete the missions to unlock everything in the research center.
Contracts make the world go
At this stage, we do not have to accept any contracts because all of the missions have been met. But yeah, that's what broke up the monotony for me. Focusing on getting like the reputation bonuses unlocked and the missions completed and all that. One of the other things is when you unlock like these viewing platforms, these tall viewing platforms, it's almost a perfect enclosure size for Tyrannosaurus Rexes. The same for hotels. I made a hotel enclosure, I call it, or a hotel pen, where you could put velociraptors. Be careful with velociraptors that are a pain. You unlock them on the 2nd or 3rd island. They are a pain in the ass to deal with. Make sure you have a double layer fence on the first time you unlock velociraptors, because otherwise they'll break through the fence and you'll have to hit your shelters to make sure you don't get sued by people that get ate by the velociraptors, and then you have to knock them out and then move them back into the pen using the ACU station. You always need a ranger station and an ACU station to start with on any of your parks, and make sure all of your enclosures have gates and so on and so forth. You can ignore like the innovation center and all that. That's just, I was doing experimentation stuff. All this does, all the science center, the innovation center, and the security center do is they use the relationship bonus to make sure you make more money. For example, we're making $43,000 for the innovation center, $32,000 from the security center, and $9,000 from the science center. Like, it doesn't really matter at the stage that I'm at right now because we're making $500,000 per minute. But like I was saying, the way that you make more profit is you have higher rated dinosaurs, and to get higher rated dinosaurs, you genetically modify them. One of the best ways to start a park with is to make sure you use Triceratops. Any herbivore that only needs 1 for the ideal population is perfect, because you can throw out a Triceratops, a Struthomymus, well, not a Stygimoloch, you need to make 2 of those, but a Triceratops, a Struthomymus, a Edmontosaurus, stuff like that. You can put them all together. An Ankylosaurus or an Ankylosaurus, you can put them all together in this kind of an enclosure, and they'll be perfectly content. If I'm going too fast, I apologize, but yeah, the best thing I would recommend is to get a higher rating, get your success rate up, and then when you incubate the dinosaurs, genetically modify them as much as possible. Again, you don't have a T-Rex yet, you'll have one later. But for example, I have a 100% genome T-Rex, and I modified it. Like, 40% is the safe point when you have increased viability 2, because increased viability 2, when you upgrade the Hammond Creation Lab, gives you a total of 20%. That stacks up to 60%. So that means when you have the viability upgraded by 60%, that means you could knock a dinosaur's viability down to 40% with genetic modifications, and it will still be a guaranteed success. Cosmetic genes increase the rating by 25%. Other genetics increase it by other percentiles. Go for the highest percentile increase to get the highest rating. So for example, if I wanted to make this Tyrannosaurus ridiculous, I could just go for whatever gave me the highest rating. Mind you, it's gonna be like a low viability, which I wouldn't recommend attempting something like this on a Tyrannosaurus, because it's a negative 30%. That means it's only a 40% chance to succeed. No, it's only a 30% chance to succeed. My apologies. 60 minus that is 30. However, if you, I don't remember what island it is on, but at a certain point you unlock success rate 3.0, which gives you 30%. When you can utilize that, it'll give you 90%, so that means the Tyrannosaurus Rex would have a 60% success rate. Mind you, I'm okay with wasting $7.8 million because I'm making $500,000 per minute, and I have $27 million at this park. So you could incubate it and just wait. It could fail, it could succeed. If it succeeds, you have a rating of 589. To figure out how to get your park to 5 stars, you click on the stars in the lower right hand corner, and you go to the rating, and you can click on it, and it will flip you up a info bar. Same for the facility rating. And it tells you what the satisfaction is for the guest. It tells you what the star rating is. So like, because we have a target species of 4, all we needed were 4 dinosaurs that were rated at 1,000, and that would give us 5 stars. But you get subtractions for there not being a good enough variety, so on and so forth, etc., etc. Again, it was my pleasure helping out. I love helping out. Another big tip, don't forget to go to your, if you go to your management views, and you look at, food, and it's like, people over here want food. Well, maybe you don't need to make another restaurant. Maybe just go over to your restaurant and make sure that the staff is actually good. Because you can come across situations where, there'll be 580 out of 580 people here, and when you increase the staff number, it'll increase with it. So, that's something to keep in mind, too.
It's a dangerous world.
Also,
this place makes it more dangerous.
Certain
this contract can help us with
certain
security.
Contracts are better to accept than others. Like this one, if you don't have 3 Carnosaurus and you don't have the means to successfully produce them or contain them, don't accept it. But because I could do that, I would be like, yeah, sure, I'm okay with wasting a little bit of money to get. When I was trying to get the reputation up for that, I would do it because it's a 3 increase. I always try and focus on missions that give you either an increase to several things at once or an increase of 3. Because the increase of 3 will make sure you get a profit of your reputation when you accept a different division's mission that is also 3. If it's 2, it's just going to be a loss overall. Because you're gaining 2, losing 2 for entertainment and science, and then you accept science and you're just gaining back what you just lost, but losing for entertainment again if you accept it's for science, and then losing what you just got for security. So it's a little bit of a juggling match for the divisions, but like I said, when you get to a certain point and you've unlocked everything that you need to unlock, you can just ignore missions. But missions kind of give you a way to, like, add more goals. Roads. Roads is another important thing. The bigger the roads are, the lower your overcrowding will be. Also, hotels will decrease overcrowding as well. Off the top of my head, I believe that is everything that I could potentially think of for generalized information. As you progress, things will get harder and harder. One of the things I like to do is I like to keep, like, my research center, my operations, and my power and stuff like that separated from everything else in my park. It gives you a little bit more room to deal with stuff, and room is kind of important. Also, because you can have 3 Ceratosauruses in a enclosure, I tend to do that because even though it like, as long as you have 4 different type species of dinosaurs, you could have multiple copies of that, and it will give you, like, this one has 209 rating, and this one has 139 rating. So that gives you a total of almost 400 stars right there, which will increase the rating of your park. But yeah, as you get to new islands, it'll get harder and harder to deal with it. The hardest island, by far, the hardest island that I've had to deal with is Isla Sorna. And that's just because of the missions that you have to do for it. Mind you, if I had to go back, I would do it a different way and it would probably be easier. But Isla Pena and Isla Sorna are by far the most difficult islands I've dealt with. If you need money, you can always go back and forth, and, like, because the money doesn't get shared between islands, but things like dinosaur fossils do, and profitable things do, you could go to a dig site expedition, get your stuff, start your excavation of the DNA from the fossils, go back to the island, and sell those valuables, or if you have 100% genome from a fossil you already own, sell the fossil as well to make yourself a nice profit. I did that a lot for Isla Pena, and actually managed to make that island a lot easier than it could have been because of how it worked out with how I was able to make the money. With all that said and done, though, I think I'm going to end the episode for YouTube here, and I'm going to switch back over to the Dinosaur Deathmatch Park, and we will have our 3rd fight for the night. I think we'll end it after 4 or 5 fights. But yeah, again, it was a non-issue. It was my pleasure, kind of a situation for explaining how things work in this game, because I love helping people out, and for a game that I have experience in and I kind of know what I'm talking about, I'd gladly give information off about exactly how to do things. But yeah, thumbs up. We're gonna end the video. So for those of you that are watching on YouTube, I do thank you for stopping by. We did kind of do a little bit of a detour, but that is okay. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, take care, and have a good one. Bye-bye!